Next up on the 2024 CVC Fall Sports Media Day Tour is the Berkshire Badgers football team. Head coach Josh DeWeese. Coach, coming in another season, you're riding a 3-year streak of making it to Week 11. I know you graduated some key pieces, but what can we expect out of the Badgers in 2024?
We got a lot of players back. A lot of the same players that have been a part of that run have been with us. They're coming back as seniors. We got a lot of experience up front. Returned all 5 starters on the line. We returned our running back here. So we're excited about the season coming up.
And just, I mean, obviously the big piece was your quarterback. He was, I think, a 3 or 4 year starter. So you're replacing that. Who's the guy there, and what's it going to take for him to kind of match that production?
To be honest, we're not looking to match our Miles's production. Sam's coming in as a new quarterback for us this year with experience up front, a running game to support him, and some nice targets on the outside. So we're just looking for Sam to come in and continue moving the ball.
Outstanding. All right, I'm going to turn this over to Cameron so he can interview your players, and then I'll be back to wrap things up with you.
Okay, sounds good, Steve.
All right, so we'll start with the player to your left, Coach DeWeese. Give us your first, last name, grade, and position.
I'm Jason Brent. I'm a senior, and I'm left guard.
So, Jason, obviously, Coach mentioned the returning 5 offensive linemen, all the same guys, have been there for the past couple of years. How important is that to this team, considering that there's a new quarterback and there's some new guys around that offense coming in this year? How important is it to have that core 5 up front returning?
Having us 5 on the line, it's super important to our team because we have that chemistry that we need to be able to run the ball basically as much as we need to. So it's probably one of the most important things we have on the team.
How much is that going to really play into what this team can do? Steve mentioned the 3 consecutive Week 11 appearances. You know, that's something that a lot of teams in the Valley Division have been able to do over the past couple of years, is make the playoffs and compete in those games. So, you know, how do you guys kind of continue to meet that expectation, but maybe even go beyond that?
We meet that expectation by coming to practice every day, ready to work. We got to put in 100% effort no matter what we're doing in practice, and we got to be physical. And that's what we're trying to focus on the line. We're trying to be as physical as we possibly can because we got Justin here at running back. He's going to do the work if we get him gaps.
Well, you mentioned the running back. You know, how do those 5 offensive linemen work together cohesively as a group, as they are, for your running back to find the holes and to give him the gaps that he can run through and really move your offense, which is you guys rely heavily on the run. So how important is it to you and your 4 other linemen next to you to do your job?
It's probably, I'd say, the most important thing on our team right now. We're going to have a heavy run game. So we're working hard to make sure we got our double teams. We know our blocking assignments so we can get gaps for Justin to get yards for us.
Obviously, the CVC is a very tough conference. You have a full all CVC schedule, weeks 1 through 10, with your conference games weeks 5 through 10. So what are some of the keys to victory for this team? Obviously, you know, there's a lot of things that can really go into a win. So what are just some of the biggest keys for this team, you know, offensively and defensively?
I think some of the biggest keys we have are doing our assignment, not doing more than our assignment, being physical, and putting in 100% every play.
And then do you play both ways, offensive and defensive line?
Yes.
Who are some guys on the defensive line who can maybe, you know, really wreak some havoc and you know, chase the quarterback and plug gaps, maybe on that whole defense, maybe not specifically the defensive line, but in the entire defense?
We got Danny Tiller on the end. He's a killer. He'll get to that quarterback easy. We got Justin at middle linebacker. He wreaks havoc up the middle on his blitzes. We got Corbett up the middle. He can plug gaps like it's nothing.
All right, thank you. Moving on to Justin. Go ahead, give us your first, last name, grade, and position.
Yes, sir. Justin Phillips. I'm a senior and linebacker and running back.
So you mentioned playing both sides of the ball. I'm gonna ask you the same question. You know, are there any guys that you see? You know, there's a lot of new faces for this team in a way. A lot of guys who, you know, played both ways for all 3 or 4 years that they were on varsity who graduated last season. So who are some of these new guys that are stepping in that, you know, can really pay dividends for this team in the long run?
Right. We have Oliver Miller there at safety in the corner. He's been a dog since freshman year, and he really just steps in and he has that mentality. And really where I see lacking in the younger players is if you don't have the mentality to step up and do your job, then you're going to fail. So he doesn't have that. He doesn't lack at all with that. So that's why I see that. And the younger kids, they got to see that as an example for their class too. So
For you as the running back, the workhorse of that offense, a lot of new guys offensively, the new quarterback coach touched on. How are you kind of maybe not letting that affect your play and how you perform in practice and eventually in games and scrimmages and things of that nature, and just doing your job and kind of letting everything else settle in around you and be that centerpiece of this offense?
Bro, you just set the example ahead. I mean, there's nothing new here. We've all had the same offense, and we all have the same linemen. Miles Miller was obviously a great quarterback, a leader, and for Bars to come in and step in, be the leader of the team, and we just rally behind him. Everything he does, we step there and we support him. So me being there, he knows that we can do stuff with everything, same offense, scheme, everything. So it's nothing different here.
And you mentioned his leadership, but what about the senior leadership on this team? You graduated a handful last year. You got some more guys graduating this year, some more key guys who have been there, varsity guys since day one. What is that leadership role that you guys are taking on, knowing that there were some really key pieces for this team moving on, but now that there's still a lot of guys there, there's, for the most part, a lot of last year's team is still there and might be there after this season as well. It's a relatively young team. So what is just that leadership that you and Jason take on as seniors to make sure that everybody, does their job, and everybody, including the younger guys, find that mentality and keep it?
Right. Yeah, there's definitely the leaders still there. And obviously losing those seniors and those leaders that have been here for 4 years is an impact that, we still have to develop, and we still have juniors coming up and they're all leading their class as well. So for the linemen, they're all incredibly good leaders and they're always asking questions. But for me and JB, for turning seniors and then the captains, I mean, we set the example up front. I mean, anything that like the team is doing, they should know. I'm just gonna put my head down and go to work. He's the vocal guy. He tells them, look, we need to get into shape.
It's a very important thing to have on any football team. And I want to ask, senior year, you had a great year last year as a junior, offensively and defensively. What are your goals for this season, individually and also as a team, with maybe some pretty high expectations considering the run that this team has been on?
Right. I'm looking at the 100-plus tackles, and I'm looking for that repeat with a 1K. So.
All right. Well, best of luck to both players this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, Coach, swinging it back to you. We talked offense, defense. I mean, I really like the running game. You got a lot of offensive linemen back. How key is that going to be to your season and success?
It's a huge factor in our success. Anytime you can return all 5 components of an offensive line plus the tight end group, it's really not as much teaching stuff that's new. It's perfecting technique and understanding and football IQ. So we've seen huge growth in that group over the last 4 years. And it's not just on the offensive side. On the defensive side, we return the front 6, all 4 linemen and our 2 inside backers. So we look for that to be a large strength for our team.
You look at your situation, you've got a new starting quarterback, but you couldn't ask for a better stage for him to be on when he's got the running game you have and that protection up front. How much is that going to help him settle in, especially early on in the season?
You said it, Steve. I think it's a huge benefit to be breaking in a new quarterback with so many returning players and so many facets in the offense. Sam knows that he just needs to take care of the ball and make his reads and really just be a point guard with the offense and keep it moving down the field.
Last one for you is just define success. I mean, I'm sure you're dreaming of a state title, getting that week 11 win, conference title, that type of thing. But even if those things don't happen, you can have a successful season. So how will you define success this year?
I define success by us improving upon everything we do week to week, having that growth, correcting mistakes, playing with intensity, and picking each other up and being a true family of a team. That's how I would define the success.
Excellent. All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you and the guys taking some time out of your day to preview the season, and I wish you the best of luck this fall.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.